It's been a week already. I don't know how long I can do this.
So I was born and raised in Harlem, and it was a rough neighborhood. As a kid, I seen people get shot, stabbed, or even do drug deals in front of me. As a kid, even though I grew up in a rough neighborhood, I was always the one that loved making people laugh. I was the funny one out of my friends, I was the class clown, and I loved making my family laugh. Growing up, my favorite comic, I'm gonna be honest with you, was Chris Rock. One of the most fondest moments I have in my life was sitting down and just watching Chris Rock doing his stand-up and enjoying that time with my father.
So when you white, the sky's the limit. When you black, the limit's the sky.
While I lived in Harlem, I always tried to mind my own business. But living in the hood is like living like a crab in the bucket. If you try to live a good and honest life, people will try to pull you into trouble. I knew at the time if I stayed in New York, things would not end well for me. Good thing my best friend Jeffrey convinced me to join the Navy. When I joined the Navy, I became an aircraft director on the USS Ronald Reagan. I was part of the Iraq War and the war in Afghanistan. During these wars, we eliminated the Taliban generals. In 2011, we were the first responders to a deadly tsunami which happened in Japan. This was the operation that broke the camel's back. When we arrived, we went through a radiation cloud and the whole ship was contaminated, including the ventilation and the water. The contamination was so bad, sailors to this day are still suffering from health problems. After that experience, I knew it was time to leave the Navy and pursue something I love, which is comedy. I left the Navy and I started doing stand-up, but there was one problem. I was afraid of public speaking. How the hell am I gonna do this being afraid of public speaking? So I saw a Kevin Hart special, Let Me Explain, and there was a moment he was walking out and you hear the heartbeat and he looked scared, he looked nervous. And he went out there and he talked to 30,000 people. And I said, you know what, if he could do it, I could do it too. So I got off my ass and I did it. And I did it over and over and over again. And while I was doing stand-up, I started doing videos. So it was videos and stand-up. The problem with doing videos and stand-up is there's no money. Early 2016, I met Jenny Lorenzo. At the time, she was a BuzzFeed producer creating this video right here.
I hope you sleep by yourself.
The video hit and BuzzFeed offered me a residency, which meant that I had to move from San Diego to LA with no money. And moving to LA with no money was no joke.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
The first couple of months I was couch surfing, I was sleeping in my car. I even stayed in cockroach-infested apartments. I had to learn how to direct, shoot, act, write, set up lights, and I didn't know how to do any of that. But when it comes to pursuing your dreams, you gotta do whatever you need to do. While I was sleeping in my car, I was still able to create amazing videos.
Oye, mo fongo ayer. Perfecto. Y el flan.
My mentality was, if they don't hire me, it wasn't because of me, because I gave it all. After I got hired, I still had to keep proving myself. And even though it was hard, I kept being authentic to myself. After a certain time, I kept working, creating videos. I started reaping the rewards from all this hard work I was putting in. The best feeling for me is being invited to VidCon, being invited to NYU to speak at panels, going to Miami to speak to journalists. Like, all of this came about just because I didn't give up. I'm super happy. I'm part of the Pero Life family. I had the biggest year of my life this year, and I know that next year is gonna be even bigger.